Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke. Tonight, we're going to be having on Vaughn Klaus. He's going to be talking about his book, KITARU Witch Hunter. So if you guys could give a warm welcome to Vaughn, that'd be awesome.
Hey.
What's up, Vaughn?
Merry Christmas.
It's been a minute, man.
It's been a minute, my friend. I'm happy to be back on with you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I was like, damn, it's been a while, like almost a year, man. I got to hit up Vaughn and got a dope-ass book.
Yeah. I've been so busy,
dude.
it flew by, but still, it still feels too long at the same time because I love being on the show and talking to you. So cool. Thanks for having me again, man. Let's burn that midnight oil or that late night oil together. I guess we're not midnight, but we'll get there, maybe.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, man. It's like, how's everything over there, man? I've been seeing like over on that side of the country, there's been a lot of storms and shit. I've seen Arkansas. Yeah. I know you're not in Arkansas, but Arkansas had some, dude, they had like softball size hail today. In this video I seen on TikTok.
Tomorrow's supposed to be a little like icy rain or snowy, maybe. But I didn't see that. That's crazy. Welcome to that weird part of winter where crazy freak storms happen in the Midwest. It's like it's just part of it now, I swear. Like it's hot as hell here and it's great. And then we get attacked by like the ice gods every year, I swear. it's where it all collides or something. Yeah. We're used to it in a weird way. I live in Oklahoma. We're the land of the Quake-nado. It's literally, we've had quakes, earthquakes, and tornadoes running at the same time here. So nothing shocks me anymore.
That would be dope in like a comic, man. I'm sorry, but
Quake-nado.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even if it's just like maybe like a page or three, like fuck,
right.
It'd be fun to draw. I'm just like trying to
it ups the ante, right?
Yeah.
It does.
Like, oh my god.
And just the word Quake-nado. I mean, that's cool.
It sounds cool. Like when it already like just thinking of it just kind of populates something in your head, Yeah.
Yeah. Like pure death and terror, man. Populating right now. And where I live. Yay.
Yeah, you're over in Tulsa, right?
Yeah.
Tulsa,
Oklahoma. Where we supposedly had this race massacre that they try to spread around America, and it turns out it's not. You look into the stats,
a false narrative and shit.
They say it's not. It makes me mad, dude. I recently the TV show Watchmen came up again in the media, and they said they were pulling it from HBO. And I went back, and it made me remember that they opened up the show promoting, like showing, actually dramatizing the false narrative that like people were in airplanes bombing our own city and shit, like bombs on them. That did not happen. And that it was this horrifying massacre and all the poor black people had to run for it. It was really a bad fight and it was really sad. Anyway, I don't need to go into it, but yeah, the false narratives about my own town, man. I mean, if they could do it to my town, they could do it to anybody.
For sure.
When you go, what happened was in early 2000s, they formed this, the Tulsa Race Riot Commission. And they're like, we're going to get down to what really happened. But then if you read the website, and you even can tell from the language, they made up their own narrative. They took the info, which I read all the info, and I didn't have the same story they did. They had a totally different story. White man bad, minorities good. No one, and that's the only way they want to see it. They see it as white supremacy and all this stuff. And it's not. It's a sad story though. But if they could do it to my town, who knows if they probably have rewritten history to other towns too. And it's always to supply us with that oppression narrative, right? It's always the same story in the end, which is interesting.
It's crazy, man. Like it's like Roman shit, Like what I forgot the name of Romania, right? It had another name, right? The Romans came in there and they just fucking annihilated them. And they just, I think we're gonna call this place Romania. So that's what happened, dude. They renamed it that. You know what I mean? And
I never knew that, but it makes perfect sense. There's a Roman there.
Yeah. I was watching a college professor talk about it on TikTok, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I'm on TikTok now. Fuck it. And I was just like, dude, and I was like, dude, that's a cool little nugget, because I'm all like a fucking Dracula stan and shit, Wallachia, what, And,
Wallachia.
And I'm like, okay, they fucked those fools up. That shit's crazy, Like then they stemmed out of that, so it's just one more thing to think about,
Right. Crazy. And then Dracula had to, defend the Romanians from the Muslim invasion.
Yeah,
right?
Like 23,000 on the Force of the Dead.
Or from the Sultan. The Sultan was coming for him. I love it, man. They're fighting the Sultan, and and breeding because they didn't have enough people, but he put up a pretty good fight while it lasted and scared the hell out of him with that whole, impaling everyone thing.
That's crazy, man. Like, it's hard to imagine like that in any time period, just going up and seeing that many, people impaled, dude. It's fucking nuts.
That the way we used to treat human life. I mean, we still aren't great, but I mean, the way we used to just turn you into Halloween decorations back in the day, if we didn't like you, it was. I mean, if you weren't that brutal, you got killed.
Yeah,
you know
had
what I mean,
to,
like, you got subverted. Yeah,
you had to like.
Crazy.
Basically, like people had to tell tales of you, and be afraid of you. Otherwise, they would come and just take everything from you.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to mess with that guy. I've seen what he does. He likes to stick up the butt and the mouth thing. It's not pleasant. I'm not going to mess with him.
Now we just go to Home Depot and buy it, right?
Yeah.
The big
animated impaled people. Yeah, no big deal. Just fun for the whole family. Yeah, America loves that. We love our horror. We like it. Horror never goes out of style, baby.
Have you seen the new Terrifier trailer?
No. Terrifier 3?
Yeah.
I haven't. I want to.
It's gonna be a Christmas one. So
I heard that.
I guess it's coming out. I guess it's coming out in a week. I was talking to Brian about it, but it's like, oh, the actors from the second movie they just dropped it on Bloody Disgusting. I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year. Either way, like me and like a bunch of my buddies from work. It's funny, like I work with my buddies from high school, so we've known each other for like 20 something years, since like 10th grade. And like now we're working together. It's fucking crazy. But and they're all rocking Terrifier shirts and shit, and it's out there, dude.
Yeah. Terrifier is a cult hit, man.
It's huge.
People love it.
Mainstream now.
I would say it's mainstream now.
It's
number 1 was cult hit. Number 2 is mainstream. And number 3 is our Christmas special. So
right.
And then I kind of love that movie because it was like such a low budget little movie that that was just smart and did it right. And then the horror fans responded. And I just love that stuff.
Really hell yeah, man. I can't wait for the next one. I'm going to go to the theater. There's a $5 theater now by my house. So everything's $5.
Hell yeah.
And it used to be like the biggest movie theater in the world at one point. There was I forgot how many, like there was so many seats and there was only 4 screens. And back when like Batman would come out, they would drive the Batmobile up into the auditorium and next to the screen. It was so big. Then they tore it down and built 16 screens. It's in Lakewood, California. Yeah. And but yeah, man, my dad saw Conan there. He's like, I waited 5 hours in the parking lot to see Conan the Barbarian before it came out. He's like, I had to see that movie. I was
5 hours.
5 hours. I'm like, he's like, I wanted to make sure I got a good seat. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, good one, Dad.
Yeah, I love me some Conan too. I don't know if I'd wait 5 hours, but he was all about that shit.
He needed that. Yeah, he was ready for that. That's awesome to hear, though. I mean, I didn't know how well the movie did back in the day when it came out. I think it did pretty well. It pretty much introduced Arnold to the world and gave us a John Milius movie. And I love him. I love him as a director and writer. So, killer movie. I grew up in the 80s with my dad pirating everything on VHS is how I saw it. You too? So
yeah, he would tape everything, even like I never knew like RoboCop's original format or like the original version of Conan because it was all taped from network television on VHS. Right? All I saw was edited, and I loved it, and now I see the new versions, and I'm just like in awe.
Yeah. Or like you watch it in like Blu-ray, and you're just like, oh, beautiful. Tech has made it prettier. Even though I do like a good old-fashioned grainy VHS too.
Yeah, dude.
There's something to that feel, that look that will always be in my heart.
Me too,
but yeah, man, I grew up on that, and that's what got me. I swear, my mom back then in the 80s getting me into the occult, the scary, the ghosts, the horror stories of our world. Yeah. And then my dad got me into the RoboCops and the Predators and the Terminators and the sci-fi and the violence and the action of our world, the amazing movies of that era. And I think that's why I make comics. I really do. I think that's why I like storytelling. Ninja Turtles hit me, and then I just started drawing comics like right then and there. When I picked up my first copy of the original Ninja Turtles in a shop in the 80s, I was just sold for life.
Did you get the new Ronin book? I mean, it's not new, but the last Ronin, did you buy it?
Yes, I have the last
still got it. I got all 4 of them, right? And they're sitting in a fucking box. I haven't even read them yet. And I went to the comic book store. My comic store is pretty dope, dude. My LCS. They're a block from my house, because like where I live, it's an old town, dude. It's like an old town in Bellflower, or it's Bellflower in California, you know. And yeah, dude, he's like, yeah, I see you got the Last Ronin on there, you know. And he's like, you want to put the new one on there? Like, they're gonna do a part 2. I'm like, fuck it, you know what I mean? I'm down to check it out, you know. I like to go in there and say what up. And he's a real big indie supporter, you know what I mean? He on the top 2 shelves, just indie books. Big 2, big 3 are on the last 3 shelves, you know. Cool manga set, dude. And his toys and shit, you know.
I love that. I love that hearing about all these different shops that are looking for the indies, the cool new indies, you know. Gives me hope. Makes me feel good.
And he's like, you know, you could do a signing in there, you know. He's like always cool with that. So I'll go in there and try to do my books, you know. Trying to hit up some other dudes that, like, you know, from our like network and community or whatever the fuck they want to come to, just to kind of meet with people. Sometimes it's, I don't know, man, people buy books, you know, and get commissions and shit like that. It's fun, you know, to get out there sometimes.
Yeah, definitely, man. Very cool. You got some cool connects. I wish I was that buddy with my comic shop. One thing I will say, I do plan on bringing all my LCSs free copies of Terror in the Trenches and Monster MD this season.
Like, that's dope.
Gift. I don't know. I like them. I like what they do and that they keep it alive, and that they, you know, a lot of them were shops I've been going into since I was a kid. So it's kind of like I want to pay it forward a little bit.
That's cool, man. That's cool, dude. That would be dope for you to do a signing if, like, you know, you guys are cool with it and shit, you know. Like, people like if people like look like see you and they're gonna buy your books, dude. Like, because you got some of the best books in the indie sphere. I just finished reading Terror in the Trenches like almost a week ago. I really loved the book, dude. And it left me on like a cliffhanger. Like, I was like, oh fuck, dude, you got me right there. You know what I mean? And I just loved what you did with the Lady Satan, you know what I mean? You brought her in and she had to do what she had to do, and then kind of pieced out, and you know, like I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah,
she's a little, she's you'll see, you know, you might think she's a little arrogant or whatever, but she's flawed too. She's human too. She's cool. She's her, you know, she's a vengeance. She's an agent of vengeance, like Terror. And I wanted to explore that throughout the book, you know, what it is to be a superhero good guy, but you're also like an absolute murderer. Like you're just killing everybody, and enjoying it even sometimes. So it was cool to get into her character. I mean, God, she's golden ager, man, who was built around vengeance. Her husband gets firebombed by Nazis. She comes back for revenge. So it's just, I don't know, classic fun stuff. But in book 2, it just gets more brutal, more dark. We've already got like, I think 25 pages colored.
Damn.
We're gonna have a lot of it done by the time we launch, and it is just looking so much killer. The fights get more brutal because he's going up against the bigger bads. Anyway, I shouldn't get into it too much, but you guys are gonna trust me. Book 2 is not as far away as you think. I know I like made a lot of balls blue with that ending. People have told me that. I wanted you to want more, man. I want
you got to do that to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, like why not? You know, like there's always this fucking thing where like, you know, don't get the balls too blue. But I'm like, dude, you gotta kick them in the nuts a little bit and then fucking get them blue at the same time. You know?
Well, like, it's the idea of give them that satisfying story, but still make them want more. So so some people were like, some critics have said like, Terror in the Trenches didn't have enough for me. I wanted more, you know. I wanted that full story, and other people were like, it's enough. But the balls are blue. I need more now. So it's, I don't know. I hope that when you read, you have to understand. I wrote it 200 pages, and then I split it into a trilogy. Yeah. So it's like, so when you read book 1, it's kind of like act 1, and then book 2 is act 2, and then the final one's act 3. So in a way, once you get them all together, you're going to get this just amazing super story that I think people are going to love, of just one horrifying night, Black Terror's life. So,
oh man, I love the way like you're just showing little bits about his relationship with his beloved, you know, and just giving us little breadcrumbs of like, you know, the gas chamber. And then flashing back to World War II, and just like how he's connected to Kaufenstein, you know, or yeah, man. And I don't know, man. I thought you really did a good job, but it's dope. I can't wait for the next one.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. I love Black Terror. I cannot. Book 2, I mean, we're already working on it, and it's just such a, I don't know, it's such a joy to work on, but it's such a dark book.
Yeah, it's dark as fuck,
I liked
dude.
it.
Yeah,
I think that was right. I think we need to take Black Terror there and make him more real, make him more interesting character than they've made him in mainstream. So that was kind of the challenge there. And because you know, anyone could do him. Anyone you can do him. He's a golden ager. So I had to come out, you know, both guns blazing. So
yeah,
I think people dig it. It was like me stepping out and saying I can do this for a professional too, because I had gotten fired from my job not too long before. So it was it was insane. It was to see a Golden Age character do that well made me happy though. I'm really glad we could pull it off. Our team was amazing. Book came out great. Just awesome. It's hard to do a Golden Ager and make it that cool or sell that well, but we did it. So cheers.
It was great, man. Best fucking version I've seen of the character. And I
Thanks.
love how you created more trenches in the era of, you know, the 70s. It's fucking dope.
It seemed like the right thing to do. Well, actually, that's kind of one of the inspirations for the story was like, what if a hero who used to run through the trenches of World War II got his neighborhood bombed and the streets are caving in, and it's like these new trenches he has to run through, and he's flashing back to this dark, twisted past on the battlefield while he's having to run through the trenches, and there's no one that survived this. It's just corpses and ashen bodies all around him. And the horror of that. I just loved that concept. I
like the concept too, where he's like, this used to be my grocery store. This is where I met my fucking lady. I met her right here on this aisle right here. You know, this is
like that.
Yeah, and then you know, like this is where the you know, I bought the flowers. You know, and like he just remembers all that. You know, you didn't waste, like I was saying on the review I did the other day. You didn't waste any balloon. Like there was, and every fucking line of dialogue was methodically placed, and it's fucking dope, dude. Really well written. And now you got a new book out, KITARU Witch Hunter. I think we were talking about this about a year ago. Maybe I could share it a little bit. I got the campaign up right here on Fund My Comic if you like.
Please do, bud. Please do.
All right.
KITARU Witch Hunter. This is a personal, very special story. This was the first full color, you know, comic I had finished, and I did not publish. I just finished it to make a badass book, and then started working on Monster MD. So this is a little bit of an older book. It's totally badass book that I worked on with Felix Navarra, the penciler, and then I inked it.
Oh, no shit.
This dope, is me physically inking a book, sitting at home, breaking my neck, hunching over a board, you know, watching TV, just trying to make the best book I could. Just my heart and soul went into this. I could only print off at Kinko's like 5 pages at a time, and then I had to carry them home,
dude,
and cut them, and then I had to like ink it. So it was a labor of love. I love making comics, and I learned a lot from making this one and forcing myself to get through this and get it done. It ended up being this killer story about KITARU Witch Hunter, this kind of a samurai ninja meets supernatural story where he hunts down witches using his detective skills. And then once cornering them, they don't look human anymore. They shift into this horrific witch form where horns and razor tongues and claws come out, metal bones, and he has to take on these demonic, horrific creatures. And he's judge, jury, and executioner. He's been trained by the shogun of the land to detect, hunt, and kill these witches. And he's kind of a roguish, haunted hero with a cool past you'll find out about, and a cursed talking sword that kind of is his little sidekick in a way.
Yeah, I love that.
I think people will dig that. I think people will. And there's a lot more to the sword that I'm not going to say that you'll find out from the story that I think people are going to love. It's going to really blow some minds. And what else can I say? It's everything I've loved about cool samurai stories and ninja stories mixed in with like dark supernatural action, mystery, all kinds of intrigue, all kinds of creepiness. So it's definitely a Vaughn book. It's like my other ones in a way, like great roguish heroes, great one-liners, comedy, violence, horror, badass fights that you will remember and enjoy, beautiful art and colors. It's the whole package. So it was time to release this baby. I rewrote it and redid the lettering. I did the lettering on the original version, but it just, you know, back when I first did it, it was my first time lettering. So I redid everything because it just wasn't, you know, that professional level.
Yeah.
Now it is. Now it's a killer book. It's a one and done story.
Oh, really?
I think it's 58 pages of story.
Oh, okay.
And then we're doing an extra bonus story that's 8 pages with Preston Acevedo, and I wrote it just for the release of this book. So we're doing a new fun little Kitaru short, and he's doing beautiful art on that. So it's about 66 pages of story total.
It's fucking awesome, man. And I love Preston's art. I mean, Preston's my homie, and I'm not saying that because he's my homie. I'm not kissing his ass or whatever the fuck, but he's in my top 3 favorite artists of all time. So I can't wait to see him. What he's going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. He is a super powerhouse artist. This guy. He's like our Simon Beasley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he just keeps getting better and better. And it's just crazy watching him grow, and just I see his art everywhere too in the indie sphere, and I just love it. He was a perfect choice for a Kitaru variant, I think.
I love this sword you got right here, man. That's not a katana. That's something else, right?
Yeah, you know, I wanted his sword to be unique and kind of it would have been easy to go with katana, and I absolutely love katanas, but I wanted this sword to be like, here's the thing about witch hunters. Their weapons, their swords are all called reavers.
Yeah.
And so I wanted it to be special and just kind of have its own design where it's like a big and brutal, but kind of shorter and light. So he could do kind of these quick beheadings with it. But it also has this hilt built into it where if you shoot a spell at him, he can kind of catch it and then hurl it back at you times 10. So it has this thing on it called a stasis field. So yeah, I designed the whole sword around functionality and being able to do cool things that are going to be part of this book and part of the action. So it's more than just a sword for cutting and more than just a sword that talks. It's a sword that can capture spells, and it's just badass. His name is Togi, which means thorn in Japanese, and which is great too because he annoys our hero, so it's like a thorn in your side or whatever. So but he's a great character, you'll find, and in his own way, and he's part of this cursed sword. And yeah, the idea is that these swords are made from witches' bones. So that they can cut through witches, right? Yeah. Like you have to have the same hardness to cut through the metal. So yeah,
that makes sense.
Stuff like that.
They did that.
They did.
Ufert did that. The famous well, I mean, he was around during the Viking era. Like he made crucible steel, which is bone. That's part of the concoction when they're doing in the crucible.
Harden it?
The crucible steel. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Ufert did it. I did some.
And his sword was like the Nike of the era where people would like fake. They would like put his name on their sword and pretend it was an Ufert sword, but it really wasn't. They just wanted to look cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Brian?
What a badass. Huh?
Oh, Brian Christgau. He's running around the chat.
What up, my friend?
On the Real Deal Hollywood, yo.
Oh, Brian, you're the real deal, dude. Good to see you, man. I love you. And your books are awesome. Damn good. Talk about an underrated writer creator, dude. We need to, you know what I mean? I need to hang with him more. He's awesome. So, yeah, the more I thought about this character, he needed to have kind of witch hunting gear that could protect him. Like, for instance, that fur around his neck's not just for show. It's like fur of the steel wolf. And if a blade comes through it, it won't be able to get through that fur, and it protects his head from going off. Things like that, you know.
That's cool.
Oh,
man.
Hey.
What's up? What's up,
Yo.
Doc? What's up, Preston?
What's up to you, dude?
Good to see you, man.
Talking some KITARU Witch Hunter.
Nah, it's a badass series.
We were just talking about you a little bit.
Of course.
You're awesome art.
I'm just fucking with you. No, it's a badass series. Vaughn's a great writer, though, so it's easy for him to crap this shit out. You know, it's
Thanks, bud. Oh man, we just, I don't know. KITARU is such a fun character and world. The story possibilities are kind of endless. And so if people really dig this, maybe we'll do more. Who knows?
Got to check out the trailer, man. Let's see this real quick.
Let's do it.
That's a dope ass trailer, man.
Thanks, man. Oh, I love making trailers. I'm just just way too into doing them now. It's like a little art. It's become a standard for me. I will make trailers for people if you want one.
Oh hell yeah! You hear that, everybody watching? Vaughn's the man. I love that fucking that Terror in the Trenches trailer did. That they did too, man. That was badass.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. God, it's when you have such good art to work with, it does a lot of the work for you, you know. Just tell the story with the images and you can make a pretty decent trailer. CapCut makes it easy too. So I was
so into that book. And I was like, I couldn't put it down. I was like, oh, this is great. Read it.
Yeah.
Motherfucker left me on a cliffhanger right at the end.
Terror in the Trenches?
Yeah. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Right when you're getting in. Yeah.
No,
well,
it was really good.
It's book 2. Yeah. They're like, like it's a brutal payoff fest with a lot.
I don't know why
things going on.
I don't know why I did this, but for some odd reason, I turned the book over like the rest of the stories on the back of the book or something like that. Like, it was crazy. And the thing is that like everything Vaughn touches is gold. And of course it is because it's well written. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just don't understand why KITARU never took off like Terror in the Trenches or Monster MD. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because you write it on both platforms. You write on Indiegogo and you write on Fund My Comic.
Yep.
If people want Fund My Comic to do well, you have to back shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I just don't.
I mean, a lot of people have been talking about the tension in the air with just all the horrors of the world and how that and people have been, a lot of artists have been telling me this, and I've had a few people hit me up telling me this too. They're like, I want to back you, but I got to hold on to money. I got to be careful.
I've been hearing that too.
They turned up the heat on society and everyone's feeling it. And I don't blame anybody. So in a way, this was kind of my economic downturn book where I was like, well, I already did the art. So I don't have to spend as much. It's a smarter book to release. And, but still, it's my quality. It's my, so I see what you're saying, Preston. Like, yeah, if we could get it out there more, maybe people could back, but I also understand like people are going through tough times. So, and
I also got to back this. I got to back the Necrovanicon.
Yeah, what's that all about?
That's one of the main things I want to get out of it.
What's that all about?
I'm loving how people are into this. So Necrovanicon is 23 plus years of just all my work in comics and design work. Everything from album covers, but mostly comics, for character designs I've done for books that you haven't even heard about or seen yet that I might do in the future. It's kind of like a look behind the curtain of my work over the years. So you can learn from me or just see how I developed if you're into me, or if you just want to learn about design or comic book making. This book has awesome stuff. I have notes that I'm going to add. It's very personal. It's everything I did, man. And it's presented, of course, as the Necrovanicon, the dark evil tome of my work, So it's going to have this great design and kind of a dark theme throughout the look of the book, the aesthetics. So, but yeah, you'll be able to see books that like this X Devils, one that I've worked on with 3 Devil brothers who quit their jobs in hell and joined the mortal world for a little bit and get into trouble. Sick. The devil of blood, the devil of flesh, and the devil of teeth, devil of bone. So they're brothers. They ran the 7th circle of hell, the circle of violence, and they quit. And now they run a bakery with Cassie in Hawaii. get into misadventures. So it's an awesome book, awesome fighter book, and at the end of the day, it's very human. It's it's these devils learning about what it is to be human and stuff. So it's kind of fun. But like that's just one little piece of this book, where you see into these awesome stories I'm working on and ideas. And then you flip the pages and it's a whole nother concept and ideas that I've been working on. So yeah, in a way you're getting a peek behind the curtain. In another way, you're seeing my old work. Here at the bottom, we have got the first character design I ever did, Radical Rabbit, with the little bloody knives, very Ninja Turtles inspired. And then next to it, got me redoing them for today. Yeah.
That's dope, man. You can see from back, in your childhood and then the modern times. And again, I love how you do your layout and your the dress, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like not
it's
only on
fun.
this, a lot of your like all your stuff.
I like to keep my branding, you know, gothic and cool and fun, and just, you know, make your shelf look awesome with you. I think good design is where it's at. So hopefully all my work can reflect that. Yeah.
Oh shit. Might want to refresh the campaign page, of course. I just had to get that Preston cover.
You the man.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy with how many people are picking up a Necrovanicon with Kitaru. It's awesome. You guys are gonna love this.
No, I'm gonna get one.
My secrets.
Oh, for sure, man. Let me refresh this real quick. Always like to do that. I love From My Comic, man. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Brian.
Got another backer.
Appreciate you. I'm loving Fun My Comic. Really cool people. Very helpful. I almost published this campaign with some dumb errors, because when it's like late at night and you're doing it all by yourself, you're gonna miss some things. And he writes me and is like, "Are you sure you want this?" Like, no, Indiegogo's never gonna do that for me and like check my campaign and make sure everything's right. You know what I mean? But Fun My Comic does, because Luke's
awesome. Mm-hmm. I love the design of the witches in here, man. They're so fucking creepy.
I love those demonic Japanese designs. Their demons and ghosts are just horrific and awesome, and it just seems like a perfect idea that like 1 minute they're human and the next those horns, they look like those classic, you know, monster masks and Oni masks.
The Onis.
You'll see. Mm-hmm.
But then more too, though, man. Like, I don't know, they're just really fucking creepy, dude. Like I
like when I was doing a short, I pulled a lot from because I'm a huge fan of like old school, you know, like anime, like Vampire Hunter D, you know, the first movie and the second movie.
Yeah, me too.
And also in Wicked City. And we talked a little bit about Wicked City.
Oh, yeah. I still haven't seen that or read it.
Dude,
yeah.
I love Wicked
Christ, dude.
I love Wicked City. Yeah. Same director, too, as Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. Yeah.
And Devilman, too. Like all of that. I was like,
really?
Like,
dude, so you're both kind of like waving on the same simpatico.
We love the same, like old school violent anime.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Vaughn was hitting on like when he told me, he's like, yeah, like take a more of a ninja scroll approach. I was like, dude, we're talking the same language.
Yeah, dude, that's just brutal.
We must be related somehow. My dad used to travel out of state. It's possible.
Yeah, you're Louisiana, you're fucking Wyoming. It's not that far. No. Fucking, yeah, dude, and like, what is it? Fist of the North Star was pretty dope. I like that one a lot. And Vampire Hunter D. Akira was obviously, you know, like epic, but those two like were really big to me. This is your cover right here, huh, Preston?
Yeah, that's it.
It's fucking dope, dude. I love the colors you went with, man.
It's Halloween, dude. That's all Halloween. I tried to put in there.
There's a lot of color in there, and it's fucking dark and just really fucking sinister at the same time.
You know the thing with Preston? You know the thing about Preston is
he drops a lot of acid.
Do you drop a lot of acid, bro?
No, I don't.
I didn't know that. All I know is that like I don't have to tell you a lot, and you already know what to do. You know what I mean? Or you add your own things that work, and it just makes me so happy. It's just great.
Well, thank you.
Your choice for the gravestones, your choice for the colors. I had no idea what you were gonna do. And it was like I didn't have to make a single change on these colors. They're perfect. They're exactly what it needs to be.
That's what I like about your Monster MD book and like, you know, Terror in the Trenches. Is like everything you put out is like, yeah, that's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Like the gravestones, the skulls, like inside the Terror's lair, he's got like coffin shaped, you know, like tanks and stuff. Dude, I'm like, dude, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I gotta have that creepy Misfits death iconography.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like I gotta, like, it's part of me. It's what I love, you know. It's what I think makes things more fun. That horror. I don't know, something that Misfits captured with their music back in the day.
I love the Misfits so much. Even a new one, like Famous Monsters, you know, and American Psycho. Dude,
those
I
are
love
great
those
albums.
Yeah, and the art on it
albums.
is insane, dude. Like,
I know back in the day, in the 90s, right? People were a little harder on that new Misfits. Nowadays, all the Misfits fans love the new Misfits albums.
Well,
They're like,
that's the
they
thing.
blowing
Like, my
up.
buddies are like, "Can you believe this guy? He sucks." You know, I was like,
Yeah.
"This is great. What are you talking about?" I was like,
That happens a lot, dude, with some bands, you know.
"Well, they completely changed. Like, it's not the same Misfits from the Danzig era to the, you know, the Jerry. I mean, not Jerry only. Fucking
Something else.
Yeah, I was like,
Michael Graves.
It's heavier. Yeah, the Graves there is heavier, dude. Like way heavier. You know, it's still
and
punk,
yet
but
they
it's
still
heavier.
write these very 50s punky Misfits songs that you can't deny are totally still Misfits.
And what's really crazy, like we were like whenever we warm up, you know, because I play with a buddy of mine, you know, and he plays drums, and we warm up to what is it? Fucking Dig Up Her Bones, I think it is.
Dig up her bones.
Yeah, and it's 4 chords. Like the whole song is 4 chords. It just repeats over and over again. I'm like, how does Doyle do that, dude? Because I'm like, nah, they got a chord change. It's not. It's just a rhythm change. You know what I'm saying? It's the same chords all the way through. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Like,
They're the Ramones school of music, and it works, and it's amazing.
I was just watching some Misfits videos today. Guys, when I went and saw them with Michael Graves. It was because me and my goth buddies wanted to see the dudes that played with Danzig, but I didn't know what they looked like yet. Right? This was the 90s. The internet was a thing. That really, right? So I didn't really know the Misfits, right? And I show up there all gothed out, you know, and they get on stage, and I'm just like,
it changed the world.
Well, like Jerry only looks like this badass barbarian from like it's a different era of space time, and freaking Doyle's like a Frankenstein monster about to murder everyone in the place.
He is Frankenstein, dude.
And he's just hitting his guitar like a monster, and then suddenly Doyle blows a pink bubble of bubble gum out of his mouth while doing it, and it just keeps I remember he's hitting it so fast too.
Yeah,
and I just go, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my
exactly.
life.
And they made their guitars like fucking Doyle's October Annihilator, dude. He made that. That's him and his. They went there and just created their own acts. They were like, "No, we want normal shit."
They're such badasses, dude. They're such blue collar badasses who make their own shit. But I remember they were playing so fast and hard, and really soon, as the show had just begun, Michael Graves is already getting shit from someone in the audience or in the very front, I guess, because he's looking down at a guy and making kind of a sour face and kind of staring at him and not moving. And Michael Graves is wearing those gloves that the Misfits singers, like even Danzig wore too, like where there's just big gloves with like spikes on them and shit, like razor blade knuckles. He starts punching the dude like in the front, like bam, 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 bam. And Jerry only takes a step like over to him and puts his hand on his shoulder and kind of pulls him back, and then smiles at the audience and does this big cartoony wink and grin, and then just starts going and jamming more and just keeps playing. And I was like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. At the end of the show, Jerry only jumps off the stage. And everyone's gathering around him, of course, the audience are going, Jerry, blah, 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 blah. But he's looking around like he's looking for somebody, and he sees me and my gothed out punky friends, and he smiles and opens his arms, and he hugs me. And it's like the biggest, sweatiest man hug ever. And I was like, I was a Misfits fan for life. Like I was baptized in the Jerry only sweat, and he didn't say anything. It was just like a thank you for coming out and being a fan or whatever. And like it was, I don't know, it just blew my mind. I didn't even ask why. I don't know why he did that. He hugged, I think, my buddy after too. We were just like these, because everyone else wasn't, I guess, as gothed out as us. Maybe he thought we were more like fiends, you know?
Well, that's probably what he thought, actually.
I was a fiend after that. I was a fiend after that, dude.
You know, both him and Doyle, they never quit their steel mill jobs. Like they still work at the same steel mill because they want to get their 401k.
Well, also their dad runs it, right? It's their family biz.
Oh, does he really? I never knew that. That's awesome.
Hold on, they work in the family biz, man.
Dude, that's amazing. That's why the motherfucker's so big, dude.
It's fucking huge, man.
It's
looks like
shredded.
A superhero.
He's 62 years old. Doyle is 62 years old, dude. And he's like our
dude. I read he was 60. I read he was 66.
Is he?
Damn.
Fuck, he might be, dude. Let me check.
He looks like he's fucking Hercules and shit.
And he's a
Dude, yeah, he looks
vegetarian, dude.
How? How do you get
Vegan.
that much bulk from fucking?
He's got
lettuce?
his own protein mixture. It's all vegetable based. You know?
Really?
And he
I
fucking scoops
have
water.
it. I
Is it
admit
good?
I have it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
try
best
that.
tasting protein powder I've ever had. There's no chemicals in it. It's all natural protein.
Oh
I
shit.
need to get some of
instead of-
that. Yeah.
Okay, like the regular protein that we've all probably tried at one point. That's
Oh, I
milk
hate that.
protein. Me too.
Yeah, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me sick too because we're not
Makes me
cows.
tired.
We're not baby. We're
Yeah.
not baby cows. We're
It puts
Well,
human
I'm
beings.
also I can't tolerate milk. I'm lactose intolerant. You know
It
what I'm
puts me to
saying?
sleep
We
like,
all
like
are.
weird.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We all are. But
I'm gonna
what
have to get
his
some of
has
that.
his has pea protein
Meat, like
from
you pizza?
vegetables.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, it's a little bit of Doyle piss. Makes you a man. Makes you a manlet.
Yeah, right.
Take the
But
pee.
no, like I know it
Doyle
feels
bowl.
weird every time I like. Could you put some pea protein in my drink and like some smoothie? But like fucking, he puts in. He actually worked with this. What happened was I watched these interviews with Doyle where he talks about making his protein thing and how he like wanted it his way. He wanted like tons of chocolate because the guy's addicted to chocolate. It had
Oh,
to
yeah.
taste good. Could not
Chocolate,
taste
yeah.
like ass like the other ones. It had to be all natural, and he wanted to up the protein to like bodybuilder levels. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he worked with them to make the perfect thing, and it's called Monster Protein. And I tried it, and I my dad's a big gym nut, and he's older. He's like 70 something now. So I was like, give it a try. If you hate it, sorry. He tried
Yeah.
it. It's his new favorite fucking thing, man.
I gotta get
Yeah,
it,
the
dude. I'm
world.
Like my dad.
We're both
High
wrong.
quality.
Doyle's 59. Jerry only 64.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
It's
wow.
crazy.
Okay. Well, they
Still
look
59. He's
great.
Jesus Christ.
They look freaking great. I mean, well done, guys. But I just love that because I got to see them with Danzig. I haven't seen them with Danzig yet, and I really hope I get to someday.
That we were
They've
talking
been
about
touring a
that.
little bit more with Danzig.
They've been popping up with shows.
Yeah.
They have.
We were talking about that. Like sometimes, like usually, like every couple of weeks, me and Salem do a show on his network or on his channel. We talk about
Oh, yeah,
metal covers, the metal
I
shop,
love doing that. Yeah.
and we were doing Misfits, and we were just talking about and some of these bands, dude. Like some of them, you just kind of gotta watch them because some of them aren't gonna be around for forever.
No,
you know?
they're not,
Yeah.
dude. That's
Just on general
crazy.
principle,
Yeah.
even if you don't fucking love them, like there's some that are like, yeah, they're pretty dope, but
Like
maybe you should
Devill.
go see them. You know,
How much longer is Ministry going to be around? You
That's
know
what
what
I
I
mean.
mean?
Right.
Slayer's fucking
Right?
gone. You know, Black
Slayer's
Sabbath's fucking gone. Motorhead's fucking gone. You know,
Motorhead's gone.
like a lot of them are
But
gone.
there's,
But I
you
mean,
know-
even
you know
if they
what's awesome?
replace Lemmy,
Alice Cooper's still.
it's not Motorhead.
Yeah, I
You
like
know
to
what I'm
see Alice-
saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Lemmy's Motorhead, buddy.
yeah.
I
Totally.
love that there's still so many bands playing though and touring
Mm-hmm.
and stuff and like keeping it real after all these years. That's amazing. And they don't win any
any awards anymore.
Yeah.
In the 90s, remember when all the rock bands got all the awards?
Yeah,
Now they don't get shit.
nothing.
It's
Dude.
awesome.
no, I
They're
don't
rebels
get
again.
shit.
Yeah,
The
it's
way it
pretty
should
fucking
be.
dope.
Oh, it was
You
cool.
got-
That yeah, like the Misfits and other bands like that. Is they never got any awards, but they always put on the coolest stage shows like
were
Gwar
for
and
real.
fucking Misfits. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I want to
Gwar
see
missed
Guar,
it.
man. That would have been. I think.
Oh,
yeah, that's you can't see them anymore either
That's
because
another band.
He died. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like,
Man.
oh man. I was gonna say,
Well-
man, you got Monster MD and Terror on here too, right? And people can.
Oh
pick
yeah,
these up.
if you want to get all three of my first books in one go and
Yeah.
get the Vaughn library, you can on this campaign, baby. So please check it out. It's Monster MD's 144 pages. It was a hit. People still talk to me about it to this day. And Terror, people are loving that. But even though like we said, the balls may be a little blue after this first book, but I promise the second one is on the way soon.
Dude, that Monster MD, like that was when everybody was backing anything because it was like political drive or whatever, you know.
Oh
No,
yeah,
Yeah, it was-
serious.
Yeah.
It was a glory days. It was
Yeah.
there was a bigger
Well, it was
group of
also
us and we were more
rage back.
motivated.
Yeah.
We were
There
motivated.
was a bunch
yeah.
of garbage that I got too
Yeah.
because it wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then
I got my garbagey books too. I mean, I did.
well, and then there was some of them like they didn't deliver and all. But Monster MD not only came out it came out. I don't know if it was on time, and I can't remember if it wasn't that late. But dude, it was so
I
good.
actually,
you know what I'm
because I
saying?
never
Like,
made a.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Man, I've never made a book as big as Monster MD, so I didn't even have a hard release date on it. For
did
a
you
while.
make any
It-
comics before Monster MD, or was it?
Kitaru? And I made other comics,
That
but I
were
never
published?
finished.
Not published. Monster MD is my first published.
because that's insane. Your first book was so good. You know, it was like a seasoned comic writer and editor put out that book. You know what I'm saying? Like a good one, not the shitty ones that parade around and like, hey, I'm an editor. You know
yeah, everyone's a freaking editor and a comic maker.
I'm also a writer too. My name's Mark Wade. But I mean, you know.
No, I fucking love Monster MD, dude. Like, I hope there's a sequel to that too. That's fucking their original concept character, dope fucking world. Yeah.
I think about making this sequel to MD every day, I think. And I've already written a lot of cool ideas and got some ideas going for it, a second one. But I want to do it right. I want to make people I want to blow minds again with the sequel. So I'm thinking, you know, after we finish Trenches, Monica and I need to do MD2.
Plus the pressure's on because it's so good. Like now you can't follow it up with garbage. I mean, you can't do a Hellraiser with it. You know what I'm saying?
Hellraiser's. I gotta bring my best. It's gotta be the next epic like story in the Monster MD catalog. Yeah, it's so in a way I do kind of sit back from it and I feel the pressure, but at the same time, like I love these characters. I know them. I know how to tell good stories with them. So it's like I don't want to pressurize myself too much. I think that I'll let the characters do what they do and people will still love it, you know? And so yeah. But you just want to tell the right story, man. When you do this, I mean, you're married to this project for a really long time.
So you're gone.
It.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. I mean, like that whole it's a lot.
The campaign. It's
and you have to tell the story that you want, not necessarily the audience is expecting. You know what I mean?
Right. Or else, why were you doing what you do? You're not really expressing yourself. You're just trying to pander to an audience, and then we all know how that goes because Disney tried that formula.
We always talk about that, like, you know. I mean, I know we Preston and Brian, like we were talking about tonight. Like I was saying, you know, sometimes I think you just got to tell the story that you got to surprise the audience. Essentially, you can't give them you got to give them something that they're not expecting sometimes, and not necessarily what they want. I don't know.
You can't create by committee. And you can't create the rules either. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's good, people will go. Like, that's the thing. Like we just talked about. Like, everybody was putting out books and everybody was getting funded. You know what I'm saying? It was like you said, the golden era. But the problem is that there was a lot of garbage in that era.
There's always
when a lot of people came back and they were like, "All right, now here's book 2," and it made zero money. The good shit like rose to the top. You know what I mean? Like the cream always rises to the top, dude.
Damn right.
And Monster MD was one of those gems.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys. You're awesome. And it's without people liking my work, I wouldn't even get to do this. So I must be doing something right.
Oh hell yeah. Dude.
Oh, I like this another badass t-shirt. Yeah, I love designing shirts for all my campaigns. And here we have the Witch Hunter crest. It lets people know that witches get stitches. It says it kind of underneath the logo there. And you know, it's cool. I love the idea of witch hunters wearing like a lot of black, being kind of like dealers of death and judgment. Yeah, that's cool. And that Witch Hunter logo, you know, it's the crest that reminds the witches that, you know, they get stitches, they get killed. Nice little knife through an Oni skull or witch's skull. So
I like that Vaughn put so much thought into his character.
To everything.
No, he doesn't have shoes.
We're talking about the fucking blade, you know? Like he was saying, like right off the bat, he was talking about all the different elements and attributes of the fucking blade in Witch Hunter. And I'm like, well, dude, that's not a fucking katana, dude. That's something else. And the thing about Vaughn, he's very his weapons, you know, there's always so much thought in his weapons, you know, with last time we had him on the stream, he was talking about the sawback blade, you know, and that's a major key player in Terror, you know, and in here he was talking about the blade in this book. It's fucking dope, dude.
Well, no, that's that shit's important. It's like,
it's very important.
Like a good villain. You need to have a great villain, but you need to have a better sidekick. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that blade's like. You know, it's you know, like the hand, like Monster Hunter. I mean, Vampire Hunter D's hand.
It's
dude.
It is like that. You called it. It is probably even a little inspired by that, whether I realized it or not when I made it. You know, the idea of that lone rogue traveler, but he's not really alone. He's like got that curse with him that he carries that talks shit to him and stuff.
It's a pretty good curse, though.
yeah, it ends up being a pretty good curse, right? Good curses. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, it's such a cool world, the feudal Japanese world that's haunted and with witches trying to poison you and hiding in the shadows and demons and all kinds of creepy stuff. So I just come play with us, guys. Come check out this book. Come hang in the world of KITARU Witch Hunter. I feel like if people give it more of a chance, they're going to be really pleased and maybe even surprised with what they get. It's not a weeb book. It is a Vaughn book. Like, it does have Japanese influence because, hell, we're playing in Japan in a way in this. And we're using samurai style stuff and ninja stuff. But in the end, it's just gothic, awesome, supernatural adventure like I usually do. So,
and that's a cool like fucking take on it, man. And it's not a manga book, it's a graphic novel, I don't know if, like, for me, like, there's a multitude of reasons why I like to like this for this campaign. The story sounds fucking dope. You got Preston doing a story, short story. I get to check out your Necronomicon. I get to see, like, your early designs. That's fucking dope, man. And this is like one of your first books, man. You're doing inks on here too. So for me as a fan, like, there's a lot of reasons why I'm gonna back the book. Yeah, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah. I would like it if people are in it enough. I would love to do another one someday.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will, man. He's a
great character.
Did you do like any other research, like on like Japanese culture aside from some of the stuff that you were inspired by at all for this book?
Let me think. Back when I was making this, I remember I was making this in Chicago. And I was going through a tough time, and making this was like the only good time I had. I think was I working as a bouncer? Maybe I was working as a bouncer, or was I working at the tea house? I think I quit working as a bouncer, and I was working in the tea house, and I was keeping myself sane by making this book. And I had a girlfriend. I remember telling me that this book would never amount to anything, and I was wasting my time. It was a great dark time in my life. They do. Screw them. And I ended up like realizing, like, what kind of research did I do? Oh, I was really into old school samurai films, like Lone Wolf and Cub, Zatoichi were definitely there. But I remember I was letting like Blade of the Immortal inspire me too, Ninja Scroll, things like that. So the research part, I mean, in the end, I ended up making my own world that kind of broke away from traditional Japanese things. So yeah, so if I researched something, it would maybe be like cultural, maybe, but in the end, I'm like, nah, I'm kind of making my own world, right? So let's let it be its own thing and not okay. For instance, I'll give you an example. I have something I researched. When a samurai goes rogue, they're called Ronin.
Ronin, right? Yeah.
So I like researched that a little bit, and I was like, what word could I come up with for a rogue witch hunter?
Okay.
Things like that. So yeah, that was a little research on my part. I definitely do research on weird random things, and
that's why I asked you, because I know you do your research, like for me, like I like there's two things. Like for me, I love like the old, like brutal, like fucking 80s and that era of manga, you know what I mean? Like that shit's dope. And even the art looks different, dude. You know what I mean? Like even like Fist of North Stars, like a lot of dudes are based off like Patrick Swayze and fucking, you know what I mean? Like they're
cool actors
and Stallone and shit, like Cobra. You know what I mean? Like they change throughout the time, and they're buff, and their eyes aren't necessarily massively taking up the face so much. You know what I mean? Little things like that. They look different, dude. But it was just more. I don't know, dude. Like I'm not really into too much of the modern stuff, but that stuff's cool. Berserk was fucking dope, and that was the first one, and I don't know. Now it just seems different, but at the same time, like I never really like gave it too much thought about like Japanese culture and stuff like that. But they got a lot of really cool stuff, dude. Like I don't know. Me and my brother and my buddy Dave, we had a band, and we were doing a song about I wanted to do a song about ninjas and samurais, So I did research. The song was called Bushido Shinobi, That was just the name of the song, you know, and it was just about the whole like farmer uprising against the Imperial Guard, you know, and fucking how their farming tools became their weapons, and that's where the ninjas came from, and you know, that's fucking cool, you know.
That is so rad. You got that history in there.
Yeah, I like history, man. It's fun, and like, I mean, again, like you get all those cool weapons and shit, you know, like from the past, and I don't know. I just think it's...
I liked the idea of witch hunters all having really unique weapons to their character.
Yeah,
because the weapons are special. They're specialized to them. So like in the we believe it or not, we did start Kitaru Witch Hunter Part 2.
Oh hell yeah!
We did not finish it, but it opens with one of the most, I don't know, back then I remember I want to write a fight scene that's just like all out, page after page, brutal, like just horrific. And he gets
I would like to volunteer myself.
Yes.
He's serious.
I could actually, let me bring it up and show you. They're just penciled pages. But let me show you let's see, where can I find it? Let's see. Old Witch Hunter. Yes. Book 2. Where are you? We started book 2, and I mean, it looks great. But how many pages do we get in? 30 pages? That's a lot.
That's a lot, dude. That's a whole lot.
God, that's
a campaign.
It's like a fight the whole time. Here, let me share this.
That's how my book is right now. I'm working on.
Okay, sharing these guys. These are just pencil pages. We open book 2, you know, it opens with some cool stuff about tea leaves bleeding into the water, and Kitaru here is like in a coffin. This is me doing some research, because those are Japanese style coffins from back in the day. They were big barrels.
That's dope. Like, I'm into that shit. You know what I mean?
They put you in a freaking barrel. So he's in the coffin, like talking with the weird, like kind of the wise man, and the wise man's like, death follows you wherever you go. And then the 2 horrific witch hunters show. Oh wait, and then we have our inciting incident. Like, there's a temple. People are praying. A guy claps his hands, and as this shady girl walks away, the temple explodes. You know, and so it's like, it's our mystery. It's our mystery. Yeah, Felix Navarro, the same dude from the original Kitaru, is doing this, and then Kitaru comes outside, and it's confrontation time with 2 badass witch hunters that are here to take Kitaru's head. And as you can see, one has a scythe, one has another big sword. So it's like them talking trash. And then things get really, really nasty. Whoa, did we skip some pages? Maybe it jumped to like page 16, 17 from 10.
I like how gothy it is, dude. I like how gothy it is.
I'm telling you, I have better versions of these pages, and they're all in the right order. I don't know what that was. I swear my old files on my old computers are all like in the wrong places. Okay.
Well, mine's the same way, man.
I've got
better lately.
I gotta know, man. Have you heard? Is there any new bands you've been listening to lately? Anything? Any new albums or any new music?
Oh, new music. You're talking to a guy who's like intentionally going to listen to old Misfits albums and like.
Oh yeah. Any old albums that you started listening to?
Yeah. I started listening to Sam Hain, the band Danzig did between Danzig and Misfits.
Yeah,
and loving it. I love Sam Hain. It's an era of big creativity for Glenn, and he's starting to develop the Danzig sound more. And he's just like, it's a cool goth band. I love goth music, so it's just awesome. Who else? Who else has been cool lately that I've been listening to? I hate to say it, but like not much else. I've been kind of on a Misfits kick, I think. So
that's cool. Yeah, I'm always picking people's brains.
You know, a lot of times. Like, I have a whole folder where it's just covers by different bands. You know what I'm saying? Like they cover crazy, like metal versions of God's Country.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
And all kinds of shit like that, dude. Yeah. You know, and Misfits songs, definitely a lot of Misfits songs, because there's a lot of bands that cover that shit, and they just crank the fucking brutality up to like 20. You know,
I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
A lot
What
of
was that
fun.
band Devil Driver? They covered like a bunch of old country songs by like Johnny Cash and Hank Williams.
Yeah, dude.
Outlaws till the end. And they have Hank Williams III on there and a bunch of people singing.
So this is what it would look like when I was adding letters and refined pencils. So it's a little, this is better.
This is you inking it?
I haven't inked. This is just me. I think I might have tightened the pencils. So yeah, this is better because you can actually see better what's going on. Like the two badass witch hunters show up, and the temple gets exploded. Then they have a graveyard battle.
Oh,
it's a double page spread. Look at this. Look at all these graves. See, and
that's great.
And Preston did his cover with graves kind of like this without me having to even tell him because he gets it. He gets the
that's cool,
the
man.
goth, the awesome graveyard. I don't know what it is. I swear to God, there's graveyard battles in way too much of what I do, but I don't care. It's like a signature move that I don't mind.
I love that shit, man. Like I wanted to make a grave city in Butch Cleaver. I mean, it's in there, but
dude, that's fucking amazing. Kind of like
Graveland.
Nightbreed. Like
Nightbreed, and I had never even seen fucking Nightbreed, and I was already thinking about it.
Wait, you've seen it. You have seen it though, right? Like,
yeah, I've seen it, but I put that in there, and I just thought, like, what if there was, like like the streets, because they have that where you live in Louisiana, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we have like graveyards that stretch acres over here, and it's all above ground.
So cool.
Look at that scythe. It's badass.
Yeah, man. It's the idea that every witch hunter, they wear the black, they wear the logo, but they kind of have their own thing going on. You know what I mean? They've got their own like style and personalities. I kind of give them that Korean style hat. No, actually, their weapons are just made to be badass, but Kitaru ends up having the cursed blade.
That's awesome.
And like he's having to take on two at once, and I had never written a fight scene like this before. And I don't know, just good times. Talk about a lot of work that, maybe I'll have to revisit in the future. I don't know.
I think you will, man. Looks cool.
It's just, anyway, keeps going and going. But this is the second book that was in development where I really wanted to unleash the big fights, even bigger and more insane than ever. So as you can see,
so much fun. Doing like fight scenes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally, man. It's hard not to.
Yeah,
especially with the visual medium, like when you're into the action,
Yeah, it is hard. It is.
I used to hate choreographing fight scenes, but then you start thinking like, but what would it look like if he punched straight through that dude's head, or pulled his jaw out and then beat him with it? Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, and then you have fun again.
Yeah, it's like so fun, right?
Yeah, I love the idea of them fighting while climbing a wall. Like, so they're running up the wall with their
badass.
And they all have this. In a way, they have the same gear, right? Those little see that
farming tool,
cylindrical thing around his ankle. Like that gives them gravity. Running.
Okay.
It's made of the blood of the gravity boar, and it lets them run up the walls and fight and ninja style stuff. So that I like the idea that the witch hunters don't just do they can't. I mean, they're very physical, obviously, and very adept, and agile. But they have gear that kind of helps them get through this. I love this. He's like coming up the wall at him, and then Kitaru runs by him to go deal with the other dude and slams him into the ground there, trying to finish him off. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it ends there. Holy shit. Yeah. That's all we got done. 25 pages of just brutal witch hunters trying to kill each other. You can tell this dude's kind of Misfits inspired too with his hair and the eye makeup. Shit. Yeah.
Was this done recently or is this old?
This is old. This was done. I mean, we finished Kitaru 1, we started 2. And because back then, it was the era of, hey, I'll put it online as a web comic and then build an audience. Then Comicsgate happened, and I was just like, oh, let's make Monster MD with Monica. And maybe I'll do Kitaru later, but I don't know. I wanted to hold on to it for a bit, see how things are. So yeah, anyway, that's some Kitaru 2 stuff I thought people might dig.
Oh yeah, that's fucking awesome, man. I can't wait to read. I just like the whole idea of like, you know, like the horror gothic fucking, you know, set in Japan witch hunter. You know what I mean? I'm always a sucker for the witch hunters. I love that. Just, you know, I love action horror in general, and just in that setting, it's very interesting to me.
What is it? I like Solomon Kane.
Yeah, Solomon Kane's and shit.
he's freaking awesome. And I wanted to, without getting to do a puritanical guy, I got to do a puritanical witch hunter still in a way. So I go to Barnes and Noble and I cringe because the self-help section is just a bunch of witchcraft books now. It's really creepy. They're turning America's ladies into witches.
Is it really? Holy shit!
I mean, tell me how yours is. I tested mine, and I live in Oklahoma, and it's just witches. And it's shocking how many witch books they have. I almost can't believe it. They even have like witch cooking books and everything.
The Barnes and Noble up here, and was it Barnes? No, it was Books A Million. They closed Books A Million and reopened it as Second and Charles, where it's basically a pawn shop and a bookstore at the same time. So
weird.
Yeah,
Books A Million. I heard they went down or something.
They got a bunch of those books over where my Barnes and Noble. It's fucking packed with that shit.
It's just indoctrination at this point. It's like, put it in your witch section or your cult section. Why is it in the like self-transformation section? You want to transform everyone into a witch? So anyway, it makes me want to release this. Yeah, where's your self-transformation werewolf book? Damn it.
Yeah. They're making. Did I tell you they're making a werewolf? They're remaking the Wolfman. Did you hear about that, Vaughn?
I read about that just yesterday, I think.
Yeah, Blumhouse is doing it. I guess it's going to be from the director of The Invisible Man. I was talking to Brian about it, and he's like, kind of not too happy about it because that movie, was like kind of whack in my opinion too. But I told him, man, I'm fucking well, because he wasn't an Invisible Man; it was just a suit, Wasn't like he didn't like make a concoction and go fucking mad from taking the invisible concoction and didn't like give him brain damage or made him a maniac.
It was misogyny that made him mad or whatever.
Yeah. And he puts on a suit, like a super suit, and like Green Goblin or Batman or something, and
I heard he injected himself with toxic masculinity. Is that what happened?
That sounds better already.
Yeah, it does, right? He gets so toxic he just becomes invisible. Can't take it anymore.
I'm a big Invisible Man fan, so I skipped that one. Maybe it's best that I did, though.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it.
Back in the day, I used to fantasize about like an Invisible Man movie with Johnny Depp in the lead.
Yeah,
and then I found out that he was signed on to do an Invisible Man.
Yeah,
fell through. Yeah,
it's fucking crazy, huh?
Yeah,
and like I'm excited for I told Brian I'm excited for. And Preston, I'm excited for the Wolfman movie. It'll probably like let me down, but I used to set my my standards really low just so I wouldn't be disappointed. But now I'm just like, fuck it, I'll be disappointed. And I like feeling hyped for shit,
no, dude, I hear you. If they put out a new Frankenstein, I'd be at the theaters in a minute. Even though I know I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But guys, like that, no, I'm going to be disappointed thing. It won't last, right?
Yeah,
like the pendulum swinging back. The demand for good story and art is too loud.
It helps. I hate to say it, but actually, bad shit like that actually inspires me to do other stuff. Because I'm like, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? And you're like,
why don't I do it?
I'll do that.
Yeah, my turn.
Good. How many? Yeah, there's been. When I made Terror in the Trenches, part of what inspired me for real, like made me grit my teeth, was reading what they were doing with him in the mainstream. And it made me more inspired. I was like, this sucks. I'm going to make the most badass terror comic ever now. Like it really drove me harder.
And it's funny too, because like I was talking to my buddy, today, and he wants to do a tabletop game. We were talking about doing that, and he's like, yeah, man, during the fucking pandemic, dude, it fucking blew up. I'm like, you got a point. These motherfuckers are playing tabletops nowadays. They're like opening stores everywhere and shit. And he was saying that I was telling about Mark Millar, man. I was like, Mark Millar fucking, was going off. Like, he's like, really? And he got me into Mark Millar. He's like, here, check out Ultimates and fucking Superior. And, he's like, yeah, this guy writes comics for people that don't like comics. That's his shtick. or don't even know about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But this is back in the day. This is like fucking 10 years ago or more.
Okay.
And he was talking about Yellow Flash and fucking Nerdrotic, and he's not even into that shit, you know.
That's cool.
But I was just like, yeah, dude, Mark Millar's fucking going off, and then somebody else was going off too. Oh, he was talking about South Park. I'm like, yeah, dude, all this shit's just kind of starting, you know, with the whole fucking what's her face, Kathleen Kennedy thing, you know. And I'm like, it's starting to kind of snowball like the last month, dude. You know, like everyone's.
If you want to see what the future has in store for us, just watch South Park. They've called it every time, dude. Like every time. Like the dolphin episode, you know, where
I love them. I always have, and I still do. And
they're unafraid, and they always,
I don't know. It's funny how the left reacts to them releasing an episode making fun of them, because they always act like it's some horrific thing, and it's really just the truth. It's just and when your own parents like watching South Park, like, you know, they're doing something right. Like they're hitting some, they've got some universal appeal that, I mean, I'd rather watch South Park than The Simpsons now by a long shot.
Yeah, definitely. I started watching the old Simpsons lately. My daughter's like, can I watch The Simpsons? I'm like, all right, I guess you're around that age. I'll let you start watching it now. She's 10. And I'm like, all right, I guess, you know, she's about to be 11. So I'm like, all right, we can watch The Simpsons. And like Santa's little helper, and you look at them, they're all fucking malformed, and they haven't hit their like, they haven't hit their style yet, you know? And like everyone's got yellow hair, and, you know, fucking Smithers is black, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like they just, you know what I mean? Like it's Tracy Ullman out, you know? But it's
Tracy Ullman version was what I remember from the first time I saw them, and there was just like a violent cartoon with an abusive dad that would choke his kid every time.
He's just like, fucking dude, like so abusive. And like
I still liked it.
Yeah, it's so good, dude. So I'm like,
it was trying to be like a lot of the more subversive, like underground cartoons in that era, where it was just insane. And that was it. That was the comedy. It didn't. And then, the show develops into this great show, you know, great for families, great for everybody. Like for those first, you know, for a lot of seasons, actually, in the beginning. So,
yeah. Like a few years, I think, like someone was saying the first like 5 years, but I'm like, yeah, maybe the first 10 years or something. Because I remember
you could argue.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. They had Conan in there and whatnot.
Yeah. But then guys, the lines being drawn in comics, it's great.
It is.
The people that used to turn us into boogeymen and cancel us, like now they're the ones going, like maybe we should shut the hell up, mind our own business a little more. Even though I still see a lot of nasty posts from them attacking Mark Millar and stuff. They have no shame, of course, but they have no power. It feels like the power shifted. The way
it feels like people are like, no, we're not buying into it.
Cancel begs.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're sick of it.
And the dude that came out and he thought like his Green Lantern book was going to be a hit because he was going to attack Comicsgate and make sure that they don't cancel.
He's like, I'm gay and fuck Comicsgate. Buy my book. It's like, nah, dude, it don't work like that, bro. You're fucking
nobody cares anymore, dude.
What weirded me out, man, was that the way he presented it was like, they're already coming out and attacking us. I was like, who are you and what are you selling?
It's like, what year is it, dude? It's not 2000 fucking teen.
Why is he important? I don't.
We didn't even know about him. Nobody was attacking his.
Never even seen him before, dude.
And then even people gave the book a chance, right? They did some reviews on it. They were like, the story is garbage.
Like, well, this character's already gay. Like, dude, you're not like reinventing the fucking gay wheel or nothing with them.
Yeah, he was like, this makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Oh, dude, I don't know what you're talking.
Have you ever met someone and they're like, I'm gay, and then you're like, oh wow, you are so fascinating to me? No, like that's not how it works. But they think it's gonna work that way in a story, you know.
Or somebody get the electrodes. We got to shock the gay out of him, you know?
Yeah,
like little shock therapy. God. Oh man, you don't understand how humans work, guys. Like the identity stuff is so boring to us. Even if you're into identity stuff, you have to pretend to be into it. I swear, like nobody's that into it. I had a friend who was really into comic books in Chicago, and he was gay AF, and he did not give a fuck about gay characters. His whole room was just Jack Kirby. If anything, he liked the classics. He liked the real heroes. He appreciated it for what it was instead of what it becoming him. He didn't care about that. It wasn't about his identity. He was a real comic fan.
Yeah, most gays are just like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, because everybody wants it to be based in reality. Yeah. Everybody wants their fantasy to be.
That's a death knell when someone's like, can you make it more realistic, bro?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Nobody will believe this. This is too fantastic.
That's the idea.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, they forgot what our art and these genres are really about, and good stories that titillate and make people want to read more what they're about. They are not supposed to be these like guided rail tours. They're supposed to shock you, surprise you, maybe even frighten you, maybe freak you out a little bit, make you think about it later, stir you up.
I mean, there's a reason why a lot of the shit that was in the original Star Trek episodes are like real now, right? Because it inspired people to like create like cell phones and shit like that, like.
You're right, dude.
Jules
Verne wrote about the first rocket ships and submarines before
exactly. You're not inspiring people with fantasy if fantasy isn't fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain it more than that. Like, it's
I like that.
I think things are I don't know, man. I think things are going to be more positive. I think people are going to start speaking up more. I don't know. I don't see how it could not go like better. I'm just hoping that the LCSs get to stick around, you know what I mean? And
I don't think that's a possibility.
Yeah.
I think they fucked up and they backed the wrong horse in the beginning.
Yeah.
So all things are gonna fall
and all things are gonna rise up again, though. And so we're now, I look at it as like we're in a storm, but the clear is coming. Like if the storms pass, the positivities come. People are fed up with all this shit. And not just in comics, it's just like in
everywhere.
General. Like, it's great. And the pendulum swings the other way ferociously. And from that, all we can do, keep making those killer stories to entertain people during dark times.
Fuck yeah, man.
Keep it alive.
Yeah, things. I mean, for me, things are like going really good. Like it's starting to get better. Like, I don't know. Like I just sounds real cheesy, like cornball-y, but I mean, you just gotta keep staying positive, like I'm talking to my wife about that shit too. She's like, I try to like think happy, like, and smile, you know what I mean, and shit, and just to like kind of like psychologically trip my brain out, even though it's not sometimes it works. Keep you in a good headspace, so you could go and you can make some comics,
I'm too lazy to do all that. I just hit the bullets. You know what I'm saying? I told my wife, I was like, hide these somewhere in the yard so I won't.
Dude, that is what being creative really is. It's
hiding the bullets.
It's putting yourself in the right headspace to be able to be creative, and you can't, if you learn how to find that, you can always perpetuate that. You can always have that creativity rolling, and some of us are just naturally good at doing it, but other people have to like figure it out.
And
it can be hard to do. I just bought this book. I don't know if you guys know The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin.
Oh shit.
Oh, get out.
Rick Rubin is telling us how to be creative, and I cannot wait to read this. I'm going to read it very soon, and it's just, what is this? Well, let me just open it into some lines and read. Living life as an artist is a practice. You're either engaging in the practice or you're not. It makes no sense to say that you're not good at it. It's like saying I'm not good at being a monk. You are either living as a monk or you're not. We tend to think of the artist's work as the output. The real work of the artist is a way of being in the world. And that's it for that page. What a bad. Anyway,
he's got some, like, I heard another good line in there too, like talking about how like making music, and it's something along the lines of art, it just simply is. I forgot how he worded it, but I read it on Twitter, and I think it's from that book. And it's the same thing with the music and comics, dude. You can't really like, I don't know. Fuck, man. I sound like an idiot.
Hard to put into words.
It's hard to quote him though. But if I had to quote it, it makes a lot more sense. But it is like about music and creating like art. Like you you can't put too much thought behind it. I guess it simply it is what it is. You have to let it live by itself. It's a living, breathing organism. It's magic. He used the word magic too, for that too. It was magic. He says it's magic, and with that, it's I don't know. You can't put too much thought into it. I was talking with another thing with Preston, like for writing songs and stuff. Like a lot of times you would be writing a song or someone, you know, or me or with the band, and you can't overthink the song too much. A lot of the times the first like riff that you get, that gut reaction riff, that's the best riff of the song. That's all it needs to be, really. And you're kind of just overthinking it, you know, and you usually go back to that riff. And sometimes it's similar with like creating a story or character or something. You have this cool idea and then you start fucking around with it too much and you come back and fuck, dude, I had it from the get, you know, that was the thing that kind of, it was there.
Right.
That's the same thing with art, you know?
Yeah.
Like painting, illustrating, all that kind of stuff. Like usually your first instinct is the best. I was talking to Angel Medina like early on, and Angel was telling me, he was like, because I really liked the Kiss books that came out of McFarlane Studios back in the day.
This was pretty dope.
And
Psycho Circus.
Yeah,
Psycho Circus. Yeah.
The toys.
Hell yeah.
Angel was like, I was like, dude, your work is so fucking good on there. I was like, he's like, you know what I like to do? I was like, what's that? He goes, I like to work wait till the last minute to get my pages. He's like, and I'll spend all night drawing. It was like, it sounds crazy, but he's like, at that point, you're not thinking about it. You're just drawing off an instinct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like, I just flow right through it. I was like, that's crazy, but I totally get it.
It's almost like when you're a director.
Need that pressure.
Yeah. The director's like slapping you know, like, was it Friedkin's like smacking the priest from The Exorcist, you know, getting him into character, or making him do like 20 takes to where they're just so like mad and out of it, you know?
Or The Shining. Yeah, The Shining did that. They made him take like 50 takes per every scene because he wanted Jack Nicholson like psychologically damaged at that point.
It sucks too, but it's like, it makes sense though, dude, because you have to like get them in what they realistic. I mean, this is a different topic, but getting them realistically like what they would be like in that scenario. You know,
exactly.
For them to get there, there's no way.
He was like, yeah, you could see on his face, like at that point, he was so like worn out and distressed, like you could see it. You know? That's what made The Shining so cool.
They did like 48 takes of Jack Nicholson just walking across the street.
Yeah, it was crazy. And when he was banging on the door, he's like, let me in.
Yeah, like that shit would piss me off too, man. Like it would like honestly, like I would get mad. It would put me in a different headspace. It wouldn't, you know.
Would. But you know, I started to think, I was like, was the camera did it even have film in it? For those first 20 or 30 takes.
Oh man, yeah.
Like,
and then what if he tells them like, "Oh, I didn't have any camera in there or any film in there when I was sorry, Jack."
Nah, Kubrick's too. You know, Kubrick recorded everything and was like staring at it over and over and obsessing to which take is the truth. Which take is the truth. He's just awesome like that. But yeah, that's so. I've never even thought of that. Like, let's like make the artist miserable to like make good art,
right?
I just no wonder
when I start turning in pages, mine's gonna be like not good enough.
Yeah, get going. Make good art. Do it again. 48.
I want you really stressed out and crazy at that point.
Puts on the Jim Shooter hat or mask and start saying it.
Oh yeah, no, just put on a Jim Shooter like flat top from the
The angle's wrong.
Like literally puts it on like headphones.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, oh my god, that's awesome to think about. I just try to have fun making comics. I think it translates into fun comics. If having fun. If they
absolutely, man,
believe in it, they dig it.
It's the energy.
Can't wait to get you guys this one. Yeah,
I gotta ask you, man. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say a lot of people tell me my comics inspired joy. They use the word joy, and I'm like beheadings and chains and fire, and they're like, oh, the joy, and I'm like, okay, that's fine by me, because when I think about what inspired me as a kid to create all this stuff, there was joy in those 80s movies, and
totally
watching Flash Gordon. Watch Flash Gordon. I mean, that's pure.
I like
that movie
Ice
feels
Pirates.
Pure.
Oh yeah, exactly. Time Pirates.
I just remember watching. I haven't seen it in like
Time
25 years, but
Time Bandits. Yeah, Time Bandits.
I never watched Time Bandits. I like Baron Munchausen.
I love Baron Munchausen.
Well, back then, I don't think we were looking for real hell. We were looking for fun hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like fantasy hell. Yeah.
We all love our time in hell. I loved
the dark movies that made me laugh. And there is joy to them. There is, well, it's an
Like
those
Young
movies are
Frankenstein?
so imaginative. That
Yeah.
movie's brilliant. Those movies are so imaginative with joy. I try to hopefully bring something like that to my
I could
work,
see where
you know?
people would say that, man. Like
No,
they really
absolutely.
take you somewhere, and like because you really the teams that you assemble, like the coloring, the artwork, and the writing, it's joyous too, and like the characters they have, man, like the way the wording that you use, man. Again, like we were talking about earlier, like certain the dialogue, dude. It's just fucking like, damn, dude, he really fucking every word balloon's got some dope ass dialogue in it. You know what I mean? It's not, I can't say that about every Brian's like that too, but I can't say that about like all the writers I know that are in comics. I don't sit there and oh damn, that's cool, dude. I like that line that he did. Like me, I'm not a writer, but like I do write for my books or whatever, but I think of lines, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, would that sound good? Or I do think about that. You know, the dialogue is very big to me, and I like dialogue in certain movies. You know, I'm really into like the Coens and
Nice.
I like Tarantino's lines. You know, Brian.
Me too.
Christgau hates him, but I do like the lines. I like his writing. But and then any other movie, I'm always looking for cool lines, dude. Like I get
look
into
at
that.
songs, dude. Like music, like songs.
Yeah, good lyrics too.
Songs
It's fucking
lyrics
dope.
are great.
Vaughn, I gotta ask, man, has there been any movies lately that you?
Well, I've got
Oh, there you go,
Dogs
Reservoir
script.
Dogs.
Oh,
This was like an early book I picked up as a teenager to learn. You know, I wanted to learn what Tarantino does and how he does it.
Yeah, I like me some Tarantino, man. No matter what.
Yeah.
What
was your
is there
question?
any-
I'm sorry.
was there any movies lately that you've thought were cool that you would recommend?
I just watched Blue Samurai.
Never
Blue-Eyed
seen it.
Samurai. Blue-Eyed
Green-Eyed
Samurai
Samurai?
Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix.
That's a newer movie, right?
Newer TV show.
I think I've heard of
written
that.
by the guy who wrote Logan.
Oh fuck!
good?
And it is surprisingly good.
Damn.
Like,
okay.
like give you chills, make you cry good. Like, and it's also got a lot of Kitaru in it. It's not as mystical, but it does have like all these great flashes that are almost spiritual and kind of metaphoric. It's got very clever, good storytelling. Violent is all hell, and I love it.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Beautiful, yet like beautiful, serene, very Asian moments, very Asian style storytelling in a way.
Yeah.
and
I
yet
started
like,
watching it,
arms.
but
Yeah,
that animation style, that Netflix animation style, kind of threw me for a second. I'm gonna have to give it another chance. See what it
see how this character, this blue-eyed samurai, what like she's a mix, right? She's white and Asian. Some inch. Her quest is to find the evil white guy that might have made her and kill him. And because she has blue eyes, like back then in Japan, like if you were white, whites were not allowed in the country. They had a lockdown. And so like to be walking around with blue eyes, like you're in danger all the time. So like it just hardened her, you know, and you start to find out why she became the absolute she's a murderer, dude. There's this one episode.
Okay.
This isn't too big a spoiler, but I'll just say it real quick. There's this one episode, and it's this brutal badass fight where she's fighting like this gang of claw dudes.
Oh, that's dope.
There's a part in the episode where she finds one of them who's young. He's a younger gang member, and he's trembling behind a barrel or something, and she spares him, you know, and walks on like you're just a little pussy or whatever. And then by the end of the episode, she finds him hiding again, and she just murders him, dude. And walks
like,
on. Like this show is crazy, and it gets a little try hard to shock you a little bit, in my opinion, but it's still a very well done and kind of a show that surprised me with how good it was, to be honest.
Did you see Onimushka?
Yes.
Dude, that was good, right?
That was good.
Yeah.
Tashe Miike.
Dude, I was so like I hung on to it because I was like, oh, well, you know, it's pretty violent. Even though the animation stuff fucking sucked. I hate that anime.
You hate that.
They gotta be using it because it's cheap. But dude, it was so good.
I thought it was
better than other 3D animation I've watched that I hated, but you're right. It was missing something. Whereas Blue Eyed Samurai was 3D, but it wasn't missing something like Onimusha kind of was. Even though overall Onimusha was really good. Takashi Miike is an amazing director. It's weird seeing him do weird samurai movies and stuff when he does all these like horror movies too. He just does what he wants because he's awesome.
It was so good. Like I was like, Jesus, this is good. And I was, it's good when you can ignore the fucking animation and be like, Jesus Christ, this is a good
get
story.
Into the characters and story. Exactly, the story just hooks you in that one, man. So, and they just came out with Yu Yu Hakusho. Live action, and that's kind of an older anime that I love. I love watching the Dark Arena arc where they just fight in the arenas against crazy monster people. Anyway,
I'll have to check
and they just came out with it, and it actually is just the fight choreography is badass and awesome, and it's surprising. You just don't expect that, especially these days. With the live action version of an anime. They did a horrible Cowboy Bebop. They did but then they did One Piece, and people were like, all right, there's some good stuff here.
I hate the animation for One Piece. Not the animation, just One Piece, the animated series.
Just the
live
style.
Action was really good, dude. I really like that.
Dude, I'm the same way. I'm actually not a fan of the anime, but I liked the live action of the One Piece.
Yeah.
That's weird. But
like very few anime I'm on board with, like it has to be really, really good. Because like straight up, I don't think they really know how to write,
Yeah.
Like there's very few anime I can say, well, that was a solid story,
Yeah. It's like a fast-made story because they have like 2 weeks to do a 20-page book or whatever.
Their whole style is crazy over there. The way they set up, like you have to basically compete, like draw.
A lot of their storytelling is too on the nose. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it can't be.
Not everything's berserk. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Like I like One Punch Man, but I know that's like light and just fun.
Yeah.
It's creative. But it's not like it's the greatest story ever, It's like a fun joke that keeps repeating in a way.
I was going to say, Vaughn, you want to go over these tiers really quick?
Sure, man. We got our $25 for your badass t-shirt.
Hell yeah.
Printed by Crypto Fashion. They rule. You got a triple threat. You can get the Kitaru Witch Hunter, the Necrovanicon, and our awesome variant cover all in once. Cool. I hope people dig. You get a free digital deluxe with that too. And then you can also get the main book and Necrovanicon together. Pretty much speaks for itself. And then you can get my first two for Fund My Comic. I put up my first two books for $5 off. Give you a little discount if you want to get both of my first two books with Kitaru.
Hell yeah.
And we're limited numbers of those. What else? Oh, we got our variant cover with the main book. Pretty badass. And, Necrovanicon, in case you want to just get that. Hopefully you'll get that with something else. Variant covers, baby. Preston Acevedo, heavy metal fucking glory. This is the way we like it. This is the way we do, man. We're bringing high tea back to comics. Preston, have you ever gotten a compliment from Simon Beasley or interacted with him in any way? Because
I did, like when I met Simon, he complimented on my Judge Death painting. I was at a con and I had Judge Death. Yeah,
that's awesome. Really good painting. That's what I like.
Then, but the best thing about meeting Simon Beasley was watching him work. And it was
right.
It changed how I worked. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, holy shit. I was like, he's not really thinking about like all these different like layers. He's just doing it, And I was like, well, fuck, man, I'm working too hard.
Right.
Right.
Like,
so
you were just talking about this. Don't overthink.
Dude, like when he draws, and I say this a lot, but he doesn't like do all these crazy, like he may do a light sketch, but it's basically like that. Like, and he's finished with a Ninja Turtle.
Right. Right.
So I started working more like he does after seeing him for like a few minutes working on a couple of commissions, and
so awesome.
And I'll straight up. I mean, my style was very similar to Simon Bisley's at first, which is fine. I don't give a shit, but I think it morphed like afterwards. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't think it resembles that much Simon Bisley anymore.
Not as it's you now, man. It's
Yeah.
you. You've come into your own. It's
Yeah,
great.
Doing that short story for KITARU, like that really, because I've always wanted to flex a little bit on doing like anime type of like a type of style, you know, because it gives me, it feels like I got more freedom doing that, you know, and doing that, it gave me a chance to like really play with perspectives, you know,
Yeah, I've seen that.
and like proportions and just go crazy with monsters, you know, and shit like that. Like it was the fucking greatest thing ever. You know?
Matt, if you scroll down, we have a page from Preston's book with me, a little short that we did, and he's just killing it. Okay, like
It was a blast. Like seriously,
what I love that Preston adds things that aren't in the script that kind of help build out the scene. Oh wait, is it not on this one? Sorry about that.
It's like
It's
the
not
most brutal shit ever.
Maybe I thought I had put it up on the.
Maybe it's on the IGG.
It's on the IGG.
I could pull it up. Real quick.
Flaming chickens and flaming horses and just awesomeness, you know.
But it was a lot of fun. Like I had a blast doing it, and I got to be a little cartoony, you know, and shit. Like
right.
That.
It's coming out great, man.
It's not finished either. Like I still got
people are gonna love it. We're gonna go nuts. And just writing it was fun, man. I missed KITARU. I missed his world. Missed this crazy character. So
sometimes you gotta break off from the characters that you love. I think, right?
Take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll come back at some point. They'll hassle you. They'll talk to you. You know?
Like for me, like
true.
I was working on my Butch Cleaver character for 10 years, and now I'm working on my Hell War character. And I want to go back, you know. It's it's I don't know, it's just I think sometimes you got to do that personally. I mean, obviously I'm green as fuck, but it's I don't know, man. That I think that's good. It's just good for it, you know. Like now you're gonna go back to Terror and then Monster, and I don't know. It's good. It's good to have. And
the cycle continues.
I think it makes you hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. You don't appreciate something until you miss it, you know. And
True.
Sometimes you gotta make those girls wait, you know. Art grows fond of what it doesn't have. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's very sexist, man.
Sorry about that.
Good. Really. Let's bring sexism back. I'm just a guy that makes comic books and loves it at this point, and I hope you guys will check it out. This is our Indiegogo, pretty similar to the other one, but I was an idiot and didn't add enough stuff on the Fun My Comic. But if you scroll down here, you will see the awesome covers. We still have, I think, the graphite version of the variant available to purchase, and we have the awesome page here.
That perspective right there.
Yeah.
That's a mean looking fucking baddie, dude.
Nah, it's like it's the ultimate. The whole idea is in the story. This little boy asks KITARU, like, well, what's it like being a witch hunter? And you turn the page, and it's like the ultimate horror scenario.
Oh my god.
You know, it's a horrible monstrosity, giant witch holding a tiny wee baby in its hands while they're in a burning barn. So it's like it's the worst of everything. Every other animals are on fire. I mean, it's a tense situation.
That's brutal, dude.
I do massive amounts of cocaine and draw comics, and I'm all out of cocaine.
All out of coke.
Down to do some
I love it. I'm sorry.
I would say you guys got to come over here and back this book. I recommend backing it on Fund My Comic. That's where I'm gonna go get it.
Yes, please.
I was saying because well, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Vaughn?
Oh, I don't even remember anymore.
My bad. I was saying that yeah, man, you come and get this book on Fund My Comic because the funds, they go, you know, right to the creator. They take less of a chunk than Indiegogo does. They don't chart, there's just so many reasons why, man.
No shadow banning.
No shadow banning.
No shadow banning.
And a lot of people just don't know about it and probably don't know how easy it is to go over there and make an account. I've already backed like 5 books on there. So, and I continue to, that's my hobby. Like is, I'll grab like a couple beers a month and then I'll back a few books a month. That's, I don't buy video games, that's right what I spend my money on, man. And on my comic is where it's at. And if you can't, there's Indiegogo too. So,
Fund My Comic is new, and the books on it are awesome and weird and underground. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like the cool new place to check out.
Yeah, it's punk as fuck, dude. A lot of people don't know about it either. Like, it's not even a year old. We had Luke on here, like one of the first shows, like around the same time when you were doing Terror on here, and yeah, man, I had a feeling it was gonna blow up. It's getting bigger and bigger though, like every few months, and more eyes over there, and it's just gonna be a good thing.
Got to build our own if we're gonna survive. They're these people that hate us, that hold any kind of modicum of power. They always abuse it. They always suppress us and then tell us about what good people they are and what bad people we are. It's crazy. So having Fund My Comic around is nice. It's a comfort. It's cool of them to keep it open and alive. If no one else did it, I mean, we wouldn't have that, and I would just be on Indiegogo right now, shadow banned.
Yeah, like they don't even see it at all.
Yeah, they make me invisible, so it hurts my sales, which hurts their money, but they don't care. It's ideological, I guess. There's something up. I swear to God, my whole account, it doesn't matter if my campaign's in compliance or not. They always shadow ban it. Now I'm pretty sure all.
He did it to his Doc Alpha campaign and totally
messed
him.
I backed that.
I got to get that book too. That's another one.
I love doing that one too.
I love the art they did on there. Look at
Bro, dude, Preston kills it so bad. I can't wait for that book. And did he just close his second book campaign though?
I don't know. I know, like that book was a dream book, dude. It was like 80 pages of fighting, like all the way through. Just fucking brutality. All the way, a kitchen fighting in a kitchen, a chicken,
naked,
crazy, dude.
Reminded me of like Eastern Promises and shit. I was like,
that's the one thing I told Lit. I was like, because he was like, sales are down. I was like, Lit, I don't know if people want to back a book with a naked dude all the way through it. I was like, you got to put clothes on him at some point.
Yeah, I think he was talked about that on a stream we were on recently.
So he decided to put clothes on him.
Give it at some point.
Dude, it was a blast. Like, and then the most fun I ever had was, I like showing people the beginning of the book where, Doc Alpha looks all clean cut and shit like that. And then the end of the book where he's all burned and scarred. He has no hair or eyebrows. His ears have holes in them and shit.
Perfect.
It's a blast.
I love that character.
Yeah, I never read the books, man. I got to check those out too. I have a list of books I'm trying to get, but yeah, man, it's
dang it, guys. Hate to tell you this. Dr. Alpha Deadman's Lullaby Volume 1 has closed.
Damn.
Yeah.
If you message him, he'll hook you up.
Yeah. He's cool. Yeah. Lit Dev's rad.
He'll hit him up. Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, it's part of what I love about CG is the awesome artists I get to work with, awesome people I get to hang with. So thank you guys for keeping it real and keeping things interesting in indie comics, because if we didn't, no one else would. I swear. It's like, I don't know. It's like punk rock scene where a few cool people know about it and are enjoying the hell out of it, and the mainstream thinks we're nothing, but instead we're writing all the cool new shit that they wish they could. It's kind of fun.
Oh yeah,
that's
sure.
That's what we're talking about. Like, I think I was telling I think it was you actually, Matt, that the writers here in CG, like I'm talking about you, Lit, Ryan.
Oh yeah,
like, easily can be compared to like fucking like Alan Moore. You know what I'm saying? And guys like that. And people, I think it's the political bullshit that's keeping people's eyes away from it. You know what I'm saying? Because if they actually read those books that you guys are putting out, like it would change their world, their whole view on comics, you know, like, because the writers they got in there right now, dude, they're terrible.
Yeah, I got to show my buddy, dude. Like my buddies, like some stuff, like they would their heads would flip. Like if I gave him Terror or Monster MD and Six Gun Gorilla, he'd fucking love that shit.
I think at brick and mortar stores, like just bought a couple of reader copies. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I'm telling you, it would change everything. Like, I'm not sure if brick and mortar would be going out of business if they would get like alternate like comics that we produce.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
It's not easy, man, writing the next badass addictive story that makes people come back. It's such a hard thing. And this
is where Vaughn's
mainstream think it's easy. Yeah. Well, they think it's easy, man. And when you do that, I swear your story is just junk. Like you don't care, you don't strive, you don't work, you just put them, I don't know, have them get coffee and have them whatever, all these tropes that suck and in our comics. And I swear American comics are just, I hate to say it, I'm embarrassed of them, the mainstream ones. I'm embarrassed.
Absolutely.
They're not hip. They used to be so hip and like kind of, I don't know, stuff that made your parents kind of even a little nervous. I miss the danger and the controversy. None of that's there. It's all just moms with helmets. And
well, I think it's
shameful, man.
To say that, oh no, we have to write those books to keep our job because if we don't, you know, Marvel and DC aren't what they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're writing shitty books just to go ahead and keep your job, where you know you're as good as like great writers like Alan Moore and people like that, you know, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know how to explain it. All I know is that all the talent's here. It's not there. And if brick and mortar would give that a chance, like they probably wouldn't be complaining about like shitty mainstream books right now. And them going under because they can't get their bills paid.
You know, Ninja Turtles was an independent book and it sold so much.
Absolutely. It killed it changed everything. Right. Yeah. So people, when they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, indie doesn't sell Ninja Turtles. In fact, it caused an indie revolution in brick and mortar stores. So that's why Don Chin made 50 grand off of Galactic Rodents. I mean, not Galactic Rodents. What was it? It was hamsters or something like that. Ninja.
Oh,
hamsters.
Yeah.
Samurai hamsters or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I forgot the whole title. It's like a long one.
There's a lot of books too, man. Like there's a lot of graphic novels like that we put out, you know, like as a movement, you know what I mean? Like if those novels were to go into the store and fucking new people came in and bought those, like there would be a lot of sales, dude. You know what I mean? Like people could say, oh, you guys don't put out that many books and you do them slow. There's a lot of fucking books out there now, dude.
Let me put it this way. Like if you were to
put out, that would be
people came in and bought them. You could easily break Monster MD into 3 different floppies.
Right? Oh yeah.
And then, you know, I mean, Alternate did have a great idea when Peter was like, hey, give me Downcast and let me go ahead and do it in floppies. Like that was a great idea. You know, I don't know why that failed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers or whatever was with that, but I know that getting those readers when people don't even care to go into stores because they don't think there's anything there. That's the trick, right? So
getting them back, like, and then getting new ones. And getting new ones in and go, what the fuck is this? Because every now and then I see random things, you know, I read random things like, oh, this is like dude's like 30 or 40 years old. Yeah, this is my first comic book. This is the first comic I've ever read. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So there's people out there that have never even touched a fucking comic that are into a lot of shit that we're into. They just never fucking picked up comics. Like they probably watched Batman the Animated Series or Gargoyles or some shit, dude. You know, maybe watched Conan RoboCop. Played a lot of fucking video games. Maybe read manga or something. But they never fucking touched a comic, you know, like those ones we really got to get in, you know, and if the OGs came back, customers and new customers.
The problem is 2 things. One, the brick and mortar stores, they're so dependent on, like, I mean, I knew a guy who managed one and he said he goes straight to Marvel and DC when he's ordering books, you know,
of course,
he ignores everything else.
It's like Coke and Pepsi.
Exactly. And 2, like there's a bunch of blue-haired motherfuckers actually running those stores now. So, you know, hired to sell the books, you know? So, yeah, dude, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think those stores are actually going to go out of business.
That's like my gut feeling, until this like last like month or so, I started having a little bit of hope because of South Park and Mark, and then maybe more people, but more of that needs to happen like soon. Of what more people need to start sticking up. That's the only way that that, and then brick and mortar stores need to fucking form like an alliance, and they need to say, "Fuck you, Marvel and DC. We're not bringing in your trash anymore, motherfucker. We're only going to sell this stuff." That's the only way it's going to. I mean, that, and then maybe bring in, something to offset the cost, just to keep the stores open. Bring in some more manga if you got to do it. Bring in some more figures. Bring in some old comics. Bring in some indie fucking Comicsgate shit. Pick up some of those tiers, or just go to the
that's
store. Probably
the way they're going to have to go, because they're not going to bring in Comicsgate shit. They're not going to bring in indie books. They'll start out with manga, because manga sells, right?
I mean, they got manga at my LCS a lot, but I mean,
I've seen it.
That's like the only thing that they can really do is tell them fuck off and not bring it in, because
they have options. They just don't want to take advantage of it.
No,
they do.
And it might be
they order the books, man. They could easily not order any more Moon Knight just like that.
Absolutely.
More money for them.
Getting what I'm saying now, and then bring in our books.
Yeah.
Just as reader copies. See if it catches on.
Yep. And then say there was like maybe a big campaign where like a bunch of like creators like us maybe did like a cheap version of our book, or a black and white or something, just to get them in those fucking stores, a sampler, maybe a 5-pager of each.
Just on a floppy
sampler with multiple books from us in it.
That would be awesome.
Stores, and then
where
give
they
it to
look
the stores
at the back and order what they want from us.
Like 2000 AD did with a primer, when they would put out the primer and just be a bunch of different, or Comico when they put out their primer and the first appearance of Grendel, you know what I'm saying?
You could do like 12 issues, and each issue has like fucking 12 fucking stories in it, or 10 stories of 5 pages of each book. Because there's so many creators, dude. You know what I mean? And but the first thing that has to happen, they do have to form an alliance, and they have to boycott Marvel and DC. They have to tell them to fuck off.
I mean, if you put out better books and you put it out cheaper than what Marvel and DC are, because they got a lot more overhead than we do. I mean, they got to pay this CEO, that CEO, this dude that does nothing, but he's the son of the CEO. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if they don't do it, bro. They don't do it pretty soon. Marvel and DC, you're basically going to be buying. They're still going to have their comics, but we're just going to be getting them from FedEx and Bezos.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's only that, and then that's what's going to happen if they do not boycott them. That's what's going to happen. So it fucking sucks, dude. That's the only way around it.
It sucks because they a lot of them. I don't know if they see that they can. They feel like they can't make sales unless they stick to Coke and Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's almost like a battered woman, right?
Yeah.
Like she has all the options in the world. But when her pimp comes home and he's like, "Where's my money?" And she's like, "Oh, here it is, Daddy."
They have strength in numbers too. Like I'm not really into the whole like strength in numbers thing. I think that shit's kind of whack. Like I don't like. I mean, but in some cases you got to do it when you're going up against a big company or something. I don't like ganging up on people.
That's the thing, though. This company's being fed by them.
Exactly. And they have a lot of options now too, because Diamond's disbanded. And they have all these different ways to order the books now. It's more shit they got to do, more orders, more, but they have more options now, and so and they have a lot more books, a lot more indie books, that new fucking Barbarian book that's all over Twitter right now. It's called like Blood Dirk or something. That shit looks fucking dope. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but
I know Andy Smith put out a Barbarian book.
That core draft, that looks dope. I got that coming. But
I got mine. I haven't read it yet, though.
I love my Barbarian books. I'm a sucker for Barbarian.
I contacted Andy. I told him not to send you yours, Matt. I said,
that's fucked up. My email says otherwise. Not slant. Yeah, Barbaric.
I told him, I said, send him an empty box. Send him an empty box. Just send him the prints. Don't send him the book.
The cool thing is though, like, as long as there's still like crowdfunding and then like our websites and however the fuck we're selling our stuff, and we're getting on like YouTube or Rumble or communicating with the base, and I think there'll still be some readers there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
we'll be fine. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Down times and up times, they're gonna happen, but we'll get through it, right? Like I feel the good pendulum swinging on the other side, and it was this pressure that lifted when Mark Miller called them all cancel pigs.
I love that. I love it. I ain't gonna lie.
I did. I love that. I thought it was great.
I was like, Mark, yes. And it was like a vindication for what we've been doing all these years too.
Yeah.
It really felt like that, and to see them all scurry and run like the cockroaches they are, and hiss, and say the nasty things.
Cancel Mark Miller, and Mark's like sitting on top of his throne of money, and he's like, okay.
Like they're like cockroaches, like yelling up at him. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Hey, hello, Orkin.
Yes, seriously.
Good luck canceling the guy who has so much money that he just makes comics for fun now. Okay,
I know, right?
That's a hobby. It's like,
what a badass! What a badass!
All right, my dog's bugging me. I gotta go. I probably got to feed him
sure.
him outside.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
well,
buddy. Thanks for coming.
I'll take it easy.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you later, man.
Ooh.
Well, I guess we can get going right now. Thanks for coming on, Vaughn. We got to do it again soon.
Yes. Thank you for a good stream and having me on. Always a pleasure, sir.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Where could people find you at?
So I'm on Vaughn's Haunted Castle on YouTube. I've got Vaughn Kingdom on Substack, where if you subscribe, you could, or even if you don't, I do post a lot of cool behind the scene things and tips on creative stuff, and even little reviews on things that I like on my Substack. Also, my Twitter, Rise Again, or just look up Vonster on Twitter. And that's pretty much where I'm at. Instagram, Rise Again Comics, all that good stuff. And come hang, come follow. Oh, riseagaincomics.com. I can't leave that out either, because that's our main website. We're going to start selling books directly from that soon after this campaign, hopefully. Make people happy. So that's where you can find me, guys.
Fuck yeah. And thanks again for coming. Thanks everybody that tuned in, that's going to tune in on the replay that will be replayed. And always remember to say Merry Christmas, be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.